So this is what made manifestation or whatever click for me. People have been asking me, what was the turning point for you? What made it click for you? And I'm pretty sure I've explained this already in my other video, my manifestation journey video, but maybe some people didn't get it for whatever reason, even though I'm pretty sure I was pretty clear, but I'll talk again about it. I was told the entire point of manifestation, of manifesting, is to assume what you want is the truth and the old story is no longer the case. And when I tell you guys that's what made it click for me, that I mean it. That is what made it absolutely click for me. Just think about it. Law of assumption. Whatever you assume to be true is true. So assume what you want is now the truth. Whatever you want is now the truth, and the old story is no longer the case. And I know people are going to be like, well, how do I make an assumption? I don't know, for whatever reason, people freak out. They completely freak out when someone's like, oh, just assume this. Oh, you're just making an assumption. The point is to assume. It's called law of assumption. I don't understand. I mean, I think people are just confused, and they think an assumption is this mythical, magical thing that you have to force yourself to believe, and you have to feel every emotion and whatnot, but it's not that. You're making assumptions every single day, and I talked about this too. An assumption is nothing more than, what do you think is true? What are you telling yourself is true? It's not complicated. We say the same thing in different formats every single time. An assumption is nothing different than whatever you tell yourself is true is true. As a matter of fact, I think that's the literal definition. But anyway, this just means you can assume absolutely anything you want. Absolutely anything you want. And because you assumed it as true, it has no choice but to show up as true. If you assume this is going to happen, it has no choice but to show up and happen for you and reflect that way. Whatever you assume, it has to reflect. Some people are like, well, I assumed so and it didn't happen. No, you didn't. No, you did not. You did not assume. Because the very same people, and I called it out in my membership, some people are like, oh yeah, I assumed this, but it didn't happen. But you didn't assume it, because assuming is not, oh, this is true. Oh yeah, this is gonna happen. Oh yeah, it's gonna be this way. Oh, they're gonna be this way today. And then the very next minute it's, oh, but what if they're not? Oh, maybe they're not gonna be that way. Oh, but what if it's actually this way? Oh, but maybe it's not going to happen that way. Oh, maybe they're not actually this way. Like, that's not assuming. You're going back and forth, and that's the exact thing. That's the exact thing that you are not supposed to be doing at all. So therefore, it's not an assumption, because if you truly assumed this thing would happen, there's not going to be any, oh, but what if it doesn't happen? Oh, but maybe it won't happen. It's no choice. Anyway, yeah, you assume whatever you want is true, and it will have no choice but to be true. And if you have an issue thinking that you can't just assume what you want is true, that's not how it works, yada yada yada, whatever, blah blah blah, whatever people say, then that is a self-concept issue. You need to address the limiting belief that you have surrounding you can't always get everything you want. Life doesn't work out for you. Things don't go your way, because that's where it comes from. That's where it stems from. Why can't it go your way? Why can't life go your way? Why can't you get what you want? You have to address that. That's on your terms. Oh, I can't just assume what I want is true, because that's not how life works, and it's rare for me to get my way. You need to stand up and stop being a victim. Stop complaining as if you were not just told, and are not told repeatedly, that the world is literally your oyster, because you are in your own way. It's no one else's problem, no one else's issue but your own. And while yes, that can be challenging for some people to actually address and bite down on and grasp, if you don't try, don't complain. Yeah, so it clicked for me because I learned that everything is my assumption. Like, just my assumption, not this person's assumption, not this person's assumption, not her assumption, his assumption, their assumption, the card's assumption, this reader's assumption. No, it's just my assumption. It's just my assumptions. My world is made up of my assumptions, and my assumptions are different than yours. Since everything is your assumption, that means you can decide how something happens, when something happens, what happens, why it happens, where it happens, and you don't have to micromanage like that. You don't have to micromanage anything, but just know that if you want to decide those factors, you totally can. And if you don't believe me, test it out for yourself. So really just understanding that assuming what I want to be true has no choice but to be true. Just testing that and receiving proof of it did a number for me, and that's what really made it click for me. I realized I'm in total control of my life, and I don't have to deal with anything that I don't want to deal with, and I don't have to subscribe to other beliefs and assumptions and societal input that I don't subscribe to, that I don't genuinely feel drawn to. And that was really just the icing on the cake for me, because it's just, okay, I can decide whatever I want, and it will have no choice but to happen. I can assume my wildest dreams, my most unrealistic dreams, and turn them into reality because I can. Just because I can, because I know I can. It'll have no choice but to happen. My unrealistic dreams or whatever I want to happen will have no choice but to happen because I assume that it's going to happen. So therefore, there's no arguing. It can't tell me no because I'm the only one who decides what happens for me. But yeah, the phrase that I told you guys about changed the game for me, and also proving it to myself, testing it out, proving it to myself that, oh, whatever I assume to be true has no choice but to be true. You guys already know my story about my first ever manifestation, about lime green cars and stuff like that. It didn't really click for me like a lot of you, even though I've been told this for years, until I started actually manifesting things for myself and seeing it for myself. And then I look back at it and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this actually manifested because I assumed that it was going to. This happened because of me. Like, this happened because I affirmed it was going to happen. Because I affirmed it was going, like, that's kind of crazy. Because I said it was going to happen. Because I assumed it was going to happen. I saw that lime green car, and I keep seeing them every single day because I assume that I'm going to see those lime green cars. I got the job, I booked the runway because I assumed that I was going to actually book the runway. Like, when you piece it all together, you test it out, and you're like, oh, it really did happen because I assumed it would. Once again, the entire point is to assume what you want is true and the old story is not the case or no longer the case. In other words, is to assume what you want is now the truth and the unwanted story is not the case. So yeah, that's all, and I hope this helps somebody. Yeah.